Welcome to TPM Vid's Disney Beat, where we talk about all things Disney. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. We also have Instagram and Twitter. You can find us at TPM Videos. The Disneyland Resort in California stimulates your senses with the sights and sounds of Disney magic. Over the years, Disneyland has seen many changes, from expansions and even a brand new theme park. It's definitely evolved over time, as we've seen many rides, attractions, and other parts of the resort come and go. Although some of these experiences are no longer in the parks, their legacy still lives on. You can find so many hidden details and secrets that are either tributes to these lost attractions or leftover relics of what used to be. So sit back as we explore the past and count down the top 7 hidden secrets of extinct Disneyland rides and attractions. Number 7. Over in Tomorrowland, you can find the Little Green Men Store Command, which is also the gift shop you're led into after you exit Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. Here inside, you can find a wide selection of Toy Story and Pixar merchandise. But there are 4 specific pieces of extinct Tomorrowland attractions hidden right in the store. As you exit Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, on the left, you'll spot this rocket display shelf, decked out in Star Command colors. There's another one near the front of the store as well. They look like they're ready for Buzz Lightyear to hop right in and go to infinity and beyond. Well, beyond being display shelves, these used to be ride vehicles from the Rocket Jets. Back in July of 1967, the Rocket Jets opened as part of the new Tomorrowland. They remained in operation until January 1997, being replaced by Astro Orbiter, which can still be found at the entrance of the land today. Well, in 1998, as Tomorrowland was being refurbished once again, Disney removed the Rocket Jet ride vehicles and repurposed its frame with these satellites. Then a few Rocket Jet vehicles in their original form were repurposed into retail shelves when the store opened as the Premier Shop in 1998. It wasn't until 2005 when it became the Little Green Men Store Command, and the Rocket Jets received a new paint job. It made their original form a little more difficult to notice, but they still kept the levers in the ride vehicles that would have been used to raise and lower the rocket. It's kinda cool, right? And if that wasn't enough, as you make your way to the cash desk to pay for that merchandise, take a look down at the base of the counter. Do these look familiar? Well, they're actually original People Mover cars. Like the Rocket Jets, the People Mover also opened in 1967 as part of the new Tomorrowland, and they remained a Disneyland classic until the ride closed in 1995. Since the People Mover cars wouldn't be used for the new Rocket Rods attraction, Imagineers decided to repurpose some of the old cars in the shop. Again, like the Rocket Jets, the People Mover cars retained more of their original look when the store first opened in 1998. Even though they received the Star Command paint job, further disguising their original form, it's still really cool to know that 2 classic Tomorrowland rides from the past are hidden in this little shop. Number 6. Over in Disney California Adventure, Paradise Gardens Park is home to the Little Mermaid Ariel's Undersea Adventure, which opened in June of 2011. The facade is themed to a 20th century aquarium, which features sculptures of Ariel's sisters that lead to a bronze statue of King Triton. Although this dark ride was a newer addition to Disney California Adventure, King Triton dates all the way back to before the park was even built, and he's actually a leftover relic of an extinct Disneyland attraction. In the area where Pixie Hollow currently is today, this used to be home to Ariel's Grotto. Not to be confused with the former Ariel's Grotto at Disney California Adventure, this Ariel's Grotto opened in 1996, and it was a meet and greet attraction to meet, well, Ariel. Looking at what's left over today, the rocks and water features haven't really changed at all, and it still very much resembles a grotto when you know it used to be a grotto. Just like this rock formation here. The only thing missing is the copper statue of Ariel and some coral. Well, as you walked up the path to join the queue, on the right-hand side was this King Triton fountain that sprayed water from his trident. It would have been where this fountain is today. Well, once Disneyland closed the grotto in August of 2008, they ended up keeping the copper statues in storage. When it came time to build Ariel's undersea adventure at Disney California Adventure, Imagineers dug through the archives and found a new home for the 76-inch tall King Triton. They polished him up and hoisted him in place, where he's now at the center of the attraction. Since they knew they'd be reusing King Triton from the beginning, he also inspired the bas-relief design of Ariel's sisters on the arc of the facade. You can see how they both complement each other. So, the next time you walk by Ariel's Undersea Adventure and see King Triton looking over Paradise Gardens Park, just remember, he's a little reminder of the extinct Ariel's Grotto at Disneyland. Number 5. Tarzan's Treehouse in Adventureland gives you the opportunity to tour this legendary Vine Swingers jungle home through this massive 80-foot tree. After you've crossed many bridges and walked up your fair share of steps, you'll reach the base camp. Tarzan and Jane have left some items behind, which include Jane's collection of scientific equipment and this gramophone. Now, Disney is all about the details, so naturally, this gramophone has to be playing music. Now you might be thinking, wait, I've never heard music coming from the gramophone. Well, with the noise from the park, the music is really faint and might be hard to hear, so you have to listen really closely. When I visited, I stuck my camera microphone close to the speaker, and this is what I heard. Sound familiar to anyone? Well, this song is called Swiska Polka, and it's a little hidden tribute to the former Swiss Family Treehouse. Back in 1962, Disneyland opened the Swiss Family Treehouse, based on the 1960 film Swiss Family Robinson. As you explored and walked through the treehouse, you approached this dining area with a pipe organ. It was this very pipe organ that pumped that upbeat tune of Swiska Polka from the film. The song was audibly heard every single day until the attraction closed in March of 1999. Then in June of 1999, Tarzan's Treehouse opened to promote the new animated film Tarzan, which was also released in June. It's really fun knowing Disney Imagineers included this tribute to the old incarnation of this attraction. Some things may be gone, but they're never forgotten at Disneyland. Back in 2000, the prop organ that used to play this tune in the original attraction was auctioned off on eBay by Disney. It was bought by mega Disney collector Richard Kraft, and in 2018, it was on display at the That's From Disneyland auction and exhibit. It was sold once again in 2018 to an undisclosed buyer. So somewhere in someone's private collection, they have this iconic Disneyland prop. Number 4. Critter Country at Disneyland is where you can get in touch with your woodsy side. Whether you're exploring the riverbanks on the Davy Crockett canoes, cooling off on Splash Mountain, or taking a trip through the 100-acre woods on the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Well, before Pooh moved into Critter Country, this space used to be home to the Country Bear Jamboree. The attraction opened in March of 1972 in what was then Bear Country. The original version of the show played until 1986, when it was then transformed into the Country Bear Vacation Hoedown. The show featured a new script and songs, but still had all your favorite bear characters wearing new summer outfits. It was extremely popular with guests at the time. Well, not every attraction can retain its popularity, and over time, the Country Bears weren't pulling in the crowds they used to. In September of 2001, Disney closed the Country Bears to make way for Winnie the Pooh. Although the Country Bears have been evicted from Disneyland for quite some time now, you can still find hidden tributes to the attraction over at the Hungry Bear restaurant. Well, it's actually the restrooms in the Hungry Bear to be exact. And the first tribute can be found right on this restroom sign. Now, does this little skunk look familiar to anyone? Well, you might recognize him as Randy from the Country Bear Vacation Hoedown. He's the skunk who appears on Henry's hat near the end of the show.
Hey, go easy on the skull there.
He actually replaced Sammy the raccoon in the original show. And speaking of the original show, more of the original Country Bears appear as tributes for the restroom names. The male restroom is Gomer's Gentleman's Lair, and this is named after the piano-playing bear Gomer. You can see they paid tribute to his original look with his popped white collar and the blue tie. Now, the Hungry Bear woman's restroom is Trixie's powder room. And who can forget this fluffy brown bear that reminds us that the tears will be the chaser for your wine.
Tears will be the chaser for your wine.
Then lastly, it's time to round the family together in the Sunbonnets Family Den, which is named after the iconic bear trio.
All the guys turn me on, turn me down.
So although the Country Bears no longer have a home at Disneyland, the cast of characters are still there in spirit. Number 3. Fantasyland's Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique is where the little ones can get that fairy godmother treatment and turn into a princess. The Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique opened in April of 2009, taking over this Fantasyland retail location. It served as a few different stores over the years, and although it's located across from Peter Pan's Flight, it was most notably known as the Tinker Bell Toy Shop from 1957 until 2002. Now, if you take a look at the outside of the building, you'll notice some characters carved into the wooden pillars. You might recognize these guys as characters from Peter Pan, and they're actually leftover relics from its time as the Tinker Bell Toy Shop. Over here on the right is Mr. Smee, then you have Captain Hook to the left of the door, and finally Tik-Tok the Crocodile on the far left. Now this is what the outside looked like during its time as Tinker Bell Toy Shop, and you can notice on the far right-hand side there used to be another character carving. Even though it's a little blurry, it appears to be the Darling's dog Nana. Back in 1983, during the Fantasyland expansion, Disney created a brand new facade for Snow White's Scary Adventures, and with this refurbishment, the new facade covered Nana. Even though we're now only left with 3 out of the 4 Peter Pan characters, it's still a fun little detail that reminds us of some of Disneyland's history. Number 2. Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout at Disney California Adventure takes you into the Collector's Fortress. Every room in the queue is filled with a variety of artifacts, including some animatronics that appeared in some Disneyland attractions. When you enter the room to access the gantry lifts, you'll spot a Yeti straight ahead on this shelf, which is actually an animatronic from the Matterhorn bobsleds. Harold, the nickname given to the abominable snowman, has been a resident of the Matterhorn bobsled since 1978. For the Diamond Celebration in 2015, Disney removed the original Yeti animatronics, which can be seen here, and installed the advanced figures we know today. Well, after spending a few years in the Disney archives, Imagineers dug out one of the 3 Harold animatronics, along with other Disney treasures to fill the Collector's Fortress. Since the attraction opened in May of 2017, many people have noticed Harold because of his size. But there's another animatronic here that came from an extinct Disneyland attraction already mentioned on the list. To the right of Harold, you'll find this octopus with a pink bow, who used to be an animatronic featured in the Country Bear Vacation Hoedown. In the show, Terrence appears with Dolores, his octopus girlfriend, who is a new character in Vacation Hoedown in addition to Randy the Skunk. Well, after being stored in the Disney archives for over 15 years, Dolores made her big comeback in May of 2017 at Disney California Adventure. Although she no longer moves and is just a prop, it's still a cool reminder of the Country Bear Vacation Hoedown. Number 1. Disneyland has expanded the size of the park a lot from when it opened in 1955 until now. Since the resort doesn't have the blessing of size, many of these Disneyland expansions took over its parking lot space around the park. One of these expansions was for Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye. Construction on the project started in 1993, and it was completed by 1995. This large structure here is the show building for the ride, and Indiana Jones took over the Eeyore section of the parking lot. The show building was so big that they even had to reroute the monorail to make room for it. Well, since we're looking at references and relics of the past, Imagineers included a hidden reference to the Eeyore parking lot in the queue of Indiana Jones Adventure. After you walk about a half a mile through the queue, you'll reach the pre-show room. Well, here inside the projector room is where you'll find a hidden Eeyore parking sign on top of the bamboo scaffolding by the projector. It's a really tough one to spot considering how dark the room can be. This picture gives you a pretty good look at the original blue parking sign that would have been fastened onto a light pole in the parking lot. It's a pretty well-known secret, but getting the opportunity to actually see it with your own eyes can be kinda tricky. If you ask a cast member to point it out, they usually have a flashlight on them to better illuminate the Eeyore sign. So out of all of these now extinct Disney attractions we spoke about in the video, which one would you bring back today? I'd love to know. Leave a comment down below to start a conversation, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video.